very important to know that when you are in arrears, countries that are in arrears do not get access to resources from the IFIs and the international community. And therefore, it was very difficult for us to do much in our country over the last 30 years. So it is a very, very, very important milestone for us to deal with the debt with the international community. It is good for us because now, starting from this minute, we will be able to get access to the grant resources of the IFIs, that's to say the World Bank and the African Development Bank, and very soon also get access to the other international community resources.
Dr. Bayle, but out of that $5.3 billion worth of debt, how much will be reduced? Are we talking of 50%, 70%?
It will also depend on what countries decide. You know, there are three sources of these debts. The Paris Club, meaning the Europeans and the Americans, then Paris Club, everybody else, that are the nations. Now, each one of these have their own rules and regulations. But at the end, we are expecting close to 90% to be removed out of our way within the next few weeks. But what is very important is that we will get access to resources that was not available to us in the past. And it's a great achievement.
Is this a sign, the fact that you've signed this deal with the World Bank in particular after 30 years, that the world now sees Somalia not as a failing economy, but now one that is moving towards becoming a normal economy?
We have signed an agreement with the World Bank, and today, just hours ago, I signed one with the African Development Bank. Both of them attest to the fact, to our new reclassification. So we are just like any other country today. Resources available in these institutions will also be available to Somalia, just like any other country. So we are today celebrating the fact that we are now renamed from failed state to a normal country.
You talked about now having access to more resources. Of course, the country still has many challenges in terms of security that you have to deal with. But where will you spend those resources? Will it be water, infrastructure projects, education? Where will you see most of that money going?
This is a milestone, but of course it's not the end of the road. It's the beginning of another set of challenges. We have already put together our priorities in our national development plan, and security, of course, is a very important fundamental priority in our agenda. So is the social sector, health and education, and of course rebuilding of our infrastructure, including water resources and other resources that we have. At the end of the day, this country is very rich and we have to be able to feed ourselves. And since we don't have adequate domestic resources, we will for a while depend on these resources from major institutions.
Dr. Bayle, you have almost 2 million Somalians who live outside the country. Their remittances are so important to your economy. Do you expect them to invest more now, and do you expect many of them to return home to help rebuild the country's economy?
Today, the diaspora is coming back with their skills. They are redoubling their efforts on investment, and therefore any positive element towards stability and towards security will definitely encourage diaspora and others to come in. So we are trying to entice them by putting in place appropriate mechanisms and facilitations for them to invest more money and more skills. And in fact, now every office that you see, there are a number of diaspora youngsters who have tremendous